I will be participating in another exhibition within what is understood to be the Uncle Collective, the itinerant gallery I am associated with, called the Uncle Collective. There will be an exhibit and a show that I'm participating in, and it's called Art Rat. And this is the image that will be featured during this show with another artist, a sculptor. We will be sharing the space with Art Rat, and some of the free radicals will also be exhibited. So there's like 3 entities. And this is, I think I'd like to make a little alert and give people a heads up on some YouTubers, people that I appreciate. And I'm going to call this video The Prime Objective. And I'd like to give people a heads up to a YouTuber that I really like called McGurks. I had a question for him. I said, what should the art of our time look like? What does the actual art object that we see in museums, on the walls, the art that makes a difference in the world, what should it actually look like? And he made some very prescient points. I like his thoughtfulness and his insight into what it means to make art in a time that we are in a perilous time, because we face such monumental challenges and dangers in our lives, both from primarily from what I see now as a health perspective of maintaining our level of health and not to get sick is really the only obstacle, or is the only objective that should be foremost. People say, well, of course you have to be healthy, but how can you be healthy if you're not paying attention to that which makes you sick, the cause? It's not just staying healthy and having your vitamins and taking care of your body, but that's all for naught if you're being completely saturated with radionuclides from nuclear power plants that don't give us a chance. So staying healthy is the objective, and I want to say the prime objective. Now, in conjunction with this idea about staying healthy, the prime objective, and it should probably be called Fukushima and the prime objective. And please, I'd like you to go and check out, I'm going to share a link to McGurks just to finish that off. This is a YouTuber that I find to be quite insightful on a fundamental level, and he likes what I do. He likes what I do. So what can I say? He's on my side, I'm on his side. We're kind of like creating a two-person, well, there's a few other people really I feel are on my side, but this is quite encouraging to me, someone who gets very few views, and finding people, this is, I think, how it works. You vibrate with people that function on the same level of intensity and insight. We attract people to each other that function on the same level of who we are. What does it mean to be you and me? And how do we find people? Well, this is also a mystery, but YouTube helps sometimes. So I will put a link to Hank's dissertation on what it means to make the art of our time. And I really enjoyed what he had to say, and I appreciate, and I was moved by his kind words as well. So now I want to just go into something that has been also on my mind, and that is the prime objective. And like I said, staying healthy is a really good prime objective. Yes, Captain Janeway and Captain Kirk and Pickard, Jean-Luc Pickard, the prime objective is not to be of interference to inferior races that you encounter. Don't interfere. That would be a good thing. The prime objective should be don't interfere. Don't mucky fuck with my life. Just leave me alone. Don't give me all this chemical pollution and everything that's going on out there. Please don't interfere. But obviously the prime objective does not apply to this planet. It applies only on, I don't know where the prime objective exists, but here is the prime objective that I would like to introduce into the conversation. Again, I would like to introduce an idea that might actually resonate with people out there, and good people out there who have the who have the right kind of response to stuff that's going on around us. Like I'm thinking of a person, for example, like Dane Wigington, who talks about this, what is called geoengineering. Some people refer to it as chemtrails, which are ubiquitous globally. Now this is phenomenal. It's a global phenomenon. You look up and you see the streaks and the sky no longer is clear and blue. It's all hazy and fuzzy because something is being added into the atmosphere. And this is an outrage. It's again the prime objective. Where the hell is the prime objective? Stop mucking and meddling in our lives by doing all this stuff. And there is no answer after years, maybe decade of activism on spouting about what's going on. Why is there no result? Dane Wigington is amazing in his exposés of showing us what the hell is going on out there, like so many other people on YouTube talking about Fukushima and the enormous dangers presented to our well-being for all life on this planet. Why the prime objective? Now, I'm going to introduce the idea why it's not working. Dane Wigington, I like Dane Wigington, yeah. Dane, with his geoengineering, why there seems to be no result, no effect of all this activity, especially on YouTube. What's going on, and what is the correlation between action and effect? Action and effect. And here's my conclusion. This isn't a long video. What I'm going to say, that there is a definite, for me, what I've understood, there is a definite relationship between action and the effect your action has. And what is the prime objective in my life? And that is fundamentally to change myself from the point of view that those things that aren't working need to be changed. And if there is something that I'm doing that isn't working, I need to change that. So if I step on the barricades and I'm pronouncing the meaning of the universe, how the cosmos exists out there, is fundamentally, totally irrelevant unless I've observed the prime objective to change myself. And here's how I think how it works. That there is no effect that any of my actions will really have on a fundamental level if I haven't incorporated, internalized something within myself that has fundamentally changed from dysfunction to function. In other words, if I spout the truth, but myself am not that truth, there is no point in me spouting anything. So I'm not saying that Wigington isn't having an effect because he's affected me with my understanding, but in terms of the big picture, why is there so little result from the people that are advocating on, for example, YouTube or on any other platform or within their day-to-day lives? Why does there seem to be no effect? And I say, my conclusion is the prime objective has not been observed, and that is to change ourselves first. We need to become different people in order to be effective out there. And I'm not saying there is a specific path that someone has to take, other than recognizing something within ourselves that needs to change from dysfunction, whichever way that may be, in our relationships, in the way we live our lives, working, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about others. We have an inner sense of the rightness of things. I am convinced this is still functioning on a level in each human being, but drawing attention to this ability to being in that sweet spot that you're like feeling this is right for me. Whatever it is you're doing, you're out in nature, you're doing something, you're gardening, you're relating to a person, and you feel just right about it. It doesn't mean it goes smoothly all the time, but you have this fundamental connection to what lack of a better word is like a sweet spot. And there is a definite relationship, what I understand to be, between being effective and being totally irrelevant. And the way we're irrelevant is that if we're just spouting the truths, the moving target and existent truth all the time without changing ourselves and becoming a truth. And there are nuances in this that I realize cannot be explained verbally. It is experiential. It's something that somehow through this process of experiencing and understanding and then truly internalizing and saying, yeah, this really makes a lot of sense because it works for me. It works for me, not for everyone else out there, but it works for me. So the prime objective is obviously to shut down the bastards from killing all life on the planet, but we're ineffective. We're ineffective unless we fundamentally change ourselves first. It's like chicken, egg. What comes first? We need to approach this from a primary objective, which is to change ourselves, because we can't change the world. We really can't unless we've done this inner work, this prime work, that which is of most value to ourselves. And that then goes out. It goes out there. So there is no sense in me making the art of this time. If I'm working whatever you see, like whatever you see when I show my videos, the work behind, there's no point in me making work and thinking to myself, well, this could be of significance or value to someone other than myself. If I haven't fundamentally gone through this inner change, it's something within me that has recognized something that is functional, that works. And it's not just something on the level of this brilliant technique of representing reality in some kind of visual way that is so brilliant that just mesmerizes us. We're so taken by the incredible dexterity of this and that. No, it's a communication that alerts another person, another being, that they can be better in themselves in some way. And if that means you're totally engrossed by the magnificence of the process that you're seeing, all that kind of stuff, I don't know. There are no rules on a level of being able to communicate something of value to each other than being heartfelt, obviously, and having experienced something that truly makes me functional. I've understood this, and I refer to this part in me that alerts me and keeps me on the path to the idea of conscience keeps me on the path. And then my decisions are fundamentally based on doing the right thing and becoming a better person and hopefully inspiring and affecting others around me to do the same. But I can't demand of anyone something that I haven't done myself. And doesn't mean that just because you're enlightened, everyone else around you is enlightened. It's a process. It's something that happens to each one of us on our own, in our own time frame. It's not something that can be imposed. It happens. It happens because this part in us is working and allows us to do what lack of a better word again, to do the right thing every day at every circumstance. So my synopsis on this is that the reason we are ineffective is because we haven't changed ourselves. The prime objective is to change ourselves in order to affect the world out there. And anyone out there making proclamations and pointing their finger, rightfully, but it's not going to make any difference unless we have fundamentally understood what it is that makes me change. Then others may be inspired to do the same. That's how it works. So stand on your platform, make your pronouncement. Dane Wigington, a decade of against the chemical pollution in the skies, nothing. Zero. Why has there not been an effect by this person on a fundamental level? I mean, he's affected me. I understand something, but I'm saying, what is it that he needs to do in his own life to actually become effective? I guess I'm pointing the finger because well, you know, the way I work is I'm quite isolated, and I make my work, but I'm participating in an exhibit again. I will have a one-man show in Toronto in the fall. I will alert you to this. And the attack dogs, it's not working. You contacting my representatives isn't working. They're not buying into your bullshit about me being a fraud. So give it up. Well, don't give it up. It doesn't matter. You're not having an effect. So anyway, I'm attaching the information to the show. If you're in the London, Ontario area, the end of June, check it out. Come on in. It's going to be a grassroots, rough kind of show. I'm going to like this one. I'm going to like this. And it's the Free Radicals, myself, and Sculptor. We'll hopefully see you there.